Hello everybody, today I would like to talk of another feature that H2 contains, which is the possibility to import and export CSV files. Let's see how to do it. So imagine that you have this file, users, like this, which has user, password, email, here, these three fields, and in our database, if you are following my videos, but even if you don't, you will understand this particular video because it's small, but it contains all the information necessary to understand about the CSV feature of the H2. So to create a database, as you already know, you just get a connection from the H2 database, which is a class that I created here. To get a connection, you just have, first you should have the dependency, of course, on Maven or Gradle, if you are using Gradle, and then you just get a connection using JDBC, and automatically, if you are trying to create a database in memory, just write the mem here, and you give the database a name. This is not mandatory. If you only need one database and you don't provide the name, you just provide this, it will be called a private in-memory database, and every connection goes or targets this database. Okay, and then you have the username and the password, the default ones. And additionally, I create another method just to create a regular SQL table, relational table, with an ID, which is auto-increment, so we can ignore the ID when we are inserting data. And then you have the username, password, and email. And then it's just common stuff, JDBC stuff, to execute this SQL. Okay, this is the only two methods necessary for this example. So in our main, I get a connection, and at this time we already have database in memory, and then I create the tables as we see previously, and at this time we already have a database with the table users inside. It's an empty table, but that's the objective in this example. So now we have this class users DAO that it's a common pattern to access a table or access a database. And our users DAO has some methods here. One is to insert users. Okay, the other one just to select, and it's regular JDBC. There is nothing fancy here or H2 related. It's just common SQL. But the two methods that I want to show, the first one is this one, import users, and it's this import users I want to import from a CSV file, which is this one that you can see here on the resource, which has these columns, username, password, email. It's the name of the columns. It's not mandatory, but it's useful. And then you have the rows with the values that you want to insert on the table. Okay, so let's return to our users now. So I want to insert two users. This is the columns, username, password, and email. And now this is how I want, or where, or from where do I want to collect the users, which is this file. So I will do select username, password, email, which is these columns here. Okay. And then from, not the table, but this function, CSVREAD, and we give the path of the file. In our case, it's class path, because it's on the resource file. And the file will be the parameter that we are passing here, which is this one. DAO import users, use the CSV, so you'll get this file. And when he gets this file, he just selects and inserts into this table. So we can fill this table automatically just using this file. This is great. If you are developing, for instance, testing and want to initialize tables, you just provide files every time you want and just import there. Then you can truncate the table and you have a different test with different data. You have a different file, you just execute. And it's the same method, just change the name of the file, for instance, for different test scenarios. Okay, this is just to import users. And then what I'm doing is just I want to export, but I just want to export a subset of the users. And then again, it's quite easy. We just create again a statement, and we call the storage procedure CSVWRITE. We use the call. Because we're exporting, there is no SQL statement. It doesn't make any sense to use an update, insert, delete, or even select. So we have call CSVWRITE. We say in which file do we want to, or which file do we want to be created with the output of the table, and then we provide the query to read the data. Now this call is not, here you have the insert is related to this table, but the call is not related to any specific table. It will be the query, the second parameter of this CSVWrite that is responsible to collect the information that you want to put in this file. So we can use any table or a combination of tables, like if you do some joins, we can even prepare a lot of data and just fill the file with information that you want. It is as simple as this. Just remember CSV read, CSV write. It can't be more simpler than this. So in our main, I'll just import the users, which are 5 users, these 5 here. And then I'm just exporting 3 because I expect the auto number for the ID. If you remember, we have here an ID, it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it's less than or equal to 3, so we expect 3 rows on a file called the parameter here, which will be out users. And then I will print the users that are in the table. Okay, so we can see the 5 users in the database table and 3 users in the exported file. So let's see this working. Let's play this, run. Okay, these are the 5 users in the database. It is this for each system out, and the file that was created here, out users, you can see 3 users from the database. So I think this feature is great. If you are developing unit testing, even sometimes in some applications, I imagine some use cases where this database can be inside an application, even in a production one, when we don't want to work with the lists or create a lot of classes in memory and do some query in our objects. Maybe we can create the H2 in memory, we insert all the data there, and then we can perform queries using SQL and calculate values and things like that, things that make more sense when we have multiple data that are correlated and we don't want to create a graph of objects. We just have tables and collect. Probably it will not be the fastest way, but I think it will be for sure the most elegant way.